Tonight, families are nervous after a COVID outbreak in a nursing home, with 2 nurses now testing positive. But they're optimistic this aged care facility could be an example of how to protect our most vulnerable.
Aged care and COVID, it's a lethal combination that's left hundreds of families across Australia heartbroken. But could the measures being taken at Summit Care and Baulkham Hills be about to turn the tide?
This is going to be the good news story of nursing homes that have been involved with a COVID outbreak. It's not going to be the new March of 2021.
I'm cautiously optimistic, yes. It's very pleasing that the first round of swabs came back negative. Everyone will be swabbed again tomorrow.
And of course, those key workers should be vaccinated, but the challenges are there.
Tracy Donaldson's 84-year-old mum, Claire Baker, is one of 149 residents at the Summit Care facility currently in lockdown.
Devastated, but optimistic, because I know that the measures that they've had in prior to this lockdown have been wonderful and kept all the residents secure and safe.
An unvaccinated worker tested positive to the virus and then infected her housemate, who also works there.
Very disappointed and a little perplexed.
But where this story differs from others before it is that 96% of the elderly residents living there have been fully vaccinated.
I had to sign off on it. And I went, absolutely, let's do that right now.
Jenny Waldron's mum, Helen, is also a resident and is fully vaccinated. Jenny brought supplies over to help pass the time until she can see her again.
We bought her some fruit, bought her some biscuits, just some snacks. But she says the food's not that great because she can't choose at the moment. So I know they're looking after her, they're doing the right things, they're following the protocol.
I'm hoping that the vaccinations will hold us in good stead.
CEO of Summit Care, Michelle Sloan, says so far there has just been 2 cases linked to the facility and 55 people placed into isolation.
So far, so good. Yesterday we did 188 swabs of staff and residents, and they've all come back negative, which is very pleasing. They both worked across the business in a number of areas over the 4 days in question.
Were you personally disappointed to hear that one of your workers was unvaccinated?
Oh, devastated, yes.
This week, the National Cabinet finally agreed to mandate COVID vaccinations for aged care workers, with the aim to have them all receive their first dose by mid-September. But with months to go until that target is reached, vaccination rates among residents could mean the difference between life and death.
I've signed off on implementation of an $11 million grant program to encourage residential aged care facilities to provide staff with leave to get vaccinated.
Specialist in aged care medicine, Dr Mark Hohenberg, says vaccination is key when it comes to protecting the vulnerable.
If you choose to work in aged care with the most vulnerable people in our society who are susceptible to COVID, I think it is really important that you have the vaccination.
3 in every 4 Australians who have died from COVID have been a resident in an aged care facility. And of the 2,051 aged care residents who have contracted the virus, 1/3 have died. Tracy's mum Claire has Alzheimer's, and last year the facility created the Window of Love to help families get through the lockdown.
And tell me about your mum. How is she holding up?
Yeah, she's okay. She doesn't like that she has to stay in a room and, they serve meals in the room instead of going to the dining room. But she's fine. She needs contact. Otherwise she'll forget. So I don't want her to forget me. So I need to be able to contact her, and they've established the Zoom meetings again.
Do you think this could be a chance, for a good outcome for once out of an aged care home?
Yes, I do. And that's certainly what we're hoping for.
People that don't have, elderly grandparents or relatives in a nursing home don't understand that, it's life or death. Yeah, and we're choosing life. Vaccinate.
Good choice.